Greetings, heroes of Dominion. Zeus here with another important update for the Lara Croft event. Today, we're breaking down the Temple Guardian boss fights from level 200 all the way up to level 290. Since my last video, there have been some major changes. Level 220 is now easier, dropping from 10 buffs down to just 5. Level 260 has been retested and can now be done with 35 buffs instead of 50. Level 270 also got reworked, going from 110 buffs down to 95 with the right team. And finally, we now have a solution for level 290, requiring 60 buffs. This means strategies are evolving quickly, and it's more important than ever to wait for tested setups before you spend your resources. Level 200, Buff 0. At level 200, the Guardians are Satori, Isaac, Nebula, Sebastian, and Lara Croft, with Albus as the team pet. It looks dangerous with energy punishment from Satori and damage boosts from Nebula, but this stage can still be cleared with Buff 0. Level 210, Buff 0. At 210, you'll face Astaroth, Isaac, Nebula, Sebastian, and Lara Croft, again with Albus as the team pet. Astaroth's resurrection adds durability, but no buffs are needed here either. Level 220, Buff 5, updated. This stage has been retested, and instead of Buff 10, it now requires only Buff 5. The lineup is Rufus with Biscuit, Galahad with Fenris, Isaac with Oliver, Lara Croft with Mara, and Iris with Albus. The team pet is Fenris. This is a key savings point, because every buff matters later in the event. Level 230, Buff 60, reworked. The first real wall still comes at 230, requiring Buff 60. Here you'll face Rufus, Galahad, Isaac, Lara Croft, and Iris, with Axel as the team pet. It's still tough, but much better than the old Buff 90 requirement. Level 240, Buff 0. At 240, the lineup is Galahad, Isaac, Sebastian, Lara Croft, and Iris, with Albus as the team pet. Buffs drop back down to 0, giving you a breather after the 230 fight. Level 250, buff 10. At 250, you'll fight Astaroth, Galahad, Isaac, Sebastian, and Lara Croft, with Axel as the team pet. This stage requires only buff 10, very manageable for this point in the event. Level 260, buff 35, updated. Here's the big update. Level 260 originally needed 50 buffs, then 40, and now has been solved with just buff 35. The lineup is Astaroth with Axel, Morrigan with Oliver, Lara Croft with Vex, Iris with Biscuit, and Helios with Merlin. The team pet is Albus. Helios and Iris together remain dangerous, but with the right balance, this stage is now much cheaper to clear. Level 270, buff 95, updated. Level 270 has also changed. Previously thought to require 110 buffs, the solution now brings it down to buff 95. The lineup is Corvus with Oliver, Morrigan with Axel, Lara Croft with Fenris, Iris without a pet, and Helios with Merlin. The team pet is Axel. This set reduces the buff cost significantly while still handling the undead synergy and Helios's creep punishment. Level 280, buff 135. At 280, you'll face Isaac, Lara Croft, Aiden, Martha, and Iris, with Axel as the team pet. This is still one of the hardest fights so far, requiring buff 135. With Aiden protecting the front line, Martha healing, and Iris tearing through tanks, this lineup is brutal. Level 290, buff 60. Finally, we now have a solution for level 290. The lineup is Isaac with Oliver, Sebastian with Albus, Lara Croft with Mara, Iris with Biscuit, and Martha with Axel. The team pet is Albus. This fight requires buff 60, which is surprisingly lower than 280. It's a tough challenge but a big step forward in progression. So here's the recap: from 200 through 210, you don't need any buffs at all. At 220, the cost is just 5 buffs. The wall at 230 remains with buff 60. From there, 240 drops back to 0, 250 requires 10, and 260 has been lowered to 35. At 270, you'll need 95, 280 demands 135, and finally 290 can be cleared with 60 buffs. My advice is the same as always: be patient. The event runs for several days, and new solutions are still being tested. Don't rush into high buff stages until the community has confirmed the best setups. This will save you emeralds, buffs, and frustration. And for those of you who have overbuffed, or who are stuck and can't find a solution, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. In YouTube comments, it's easy to miss your questions, but on Discord I'll try my best to help you and create solutions. Stay sharp, Guardians, and as always, salute and friendship.